I am standing in front of the White Wife, which is rather an intriguing name. She is a figurehead from a German sail training ship which ran aground here on the island of Yell in 1924. On that fateful morning, crofters all around the bay, including this man's grandfather, looked out their windows and saw the three-masted ship, her sails fluttering fitfully, and exclaimed, "She's a wreck," that is, she's a wreck. They knew their bay with its winds and currents, and recognized that the ship had no chance of escape. Behind me is the bay with the headland at the southern end. The ship was on the port tack, but it could not point high enough to clear the headland. At last, in desperation, the master put the helm over and turned sharp to starboard, hoping either to build up enough speed to clear the high ground and the reefs to the north, or to give the anchor time to hold. Unfortunately, the bottom of the bay is rock, and the anchor did not grip. The crofters watched as the ship, her sails flapping, drifted sideways until it struck against the rugged rocks on the north side of the bay. At once many of the men ran down to the rescue, despite the fact that only a few years previously they had been trying to kill the fathers of the young cadets. The lighthouse keeper's wife protested, "Nah, Manny, surely no Germans." Her husband, dragging on his boots, replied, "Haudie tongue, lassie, they're just seamen the same as mysel'," and ran out of the house. Thanks to the efforts of the island men, out of the crew of 38 and one stowaway, only 4 were lost. Tragically, one of the dead was a young cadet who had rescued 3 of his fellows, but when he went back for a 4th, a wave swept him away, and his body was found in the sea the following morning. Pounded by the waves of the North Sea, the Bohus broke up within half an hour of going aground. When her figurehead was washed ashore, the islanders erected it overlooking the site of the wreck as a memorial. Today it still stands there, and the islanders give it a coat of white paint every year to keep it against the ravages of the weather. Yet the tragedy of the wreck of the Bohus is that it need not have happened. There was a storm, the weather was foggy, but earlier that day the captain had spotted a lighthouse flashing in the distance, and concluded that it was the Fair Isle light. In fact, it was the light on the Skerries, and he was 60 miles north of where he thought he was. But if only he'd taken the time to look more carefully, one of those lights flashes every minute, while the other light flashes every 30 seconds. A little care, and he would have discovered his true position and borne away safe to the south. Yet how many people are similarly careless in matters no less important? They come across a holy book or a charismatic guru and think that they have seen the light, never stopping to question whether there is evidence for the things they are being taught. Other films on this site show that the Bible contains clear evidence for its divine origin. Please, don't follow false lights and mistaken lighthouses, and make shipwreck of your life.